Welcome to the Phelps Show, as this is the 10th edition for 2016, as we talk Lion College football and the Scots as they make their way through the second season of football after restarting the program last year. The Scots are coming off a 34-17 setback to Central States Football League leader Arizona Christian on Saturday. We'll talk about that along with this week's game against Wayland Baptist. I'm John Kruger, Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Information and Marketing. I'm joined once again by Lion Head Coach Kyle Phelps. Coach, I appreciate you coming on today and talking about the game on Saturday and this week's contest. Let's first talk about the CSFL standings, give everybody an update. With the setback on Saturday, the Scots are now in a tie for fourth place in the conference. Arizona Christian is 4-0 in conference now after the win over us on Saturday. They're 4-0, like I said. Wayland Baptist, who we play this Saturday in Plainview, is one half game back at 3-0. Langston is 2-1 in conference. We play them next week. And then we are tied with Bacone 2 games back at 2-2 in the conference. Southwest Assemblies of God is 0-4. And Texas College is also 0-4. Let's talk a little bit about the game this past Saturday. ACU came in and did some of the things that you had talked about last week. Unfortunately, you knew they were a high-powered team. They made some big plays against us. In the statistical account of the game, Lion had 279 yards to 357 for Arizona Christian. We had 171 yards passing compared to 325 for Arizona Christian. So the total yardage was 450 for Lion and 682 for ACU. Big plays in the game were probably a big factor. I think you'll agree. They had a 95-yard touchdown run, a 64-yard touchdown pass, and an 85-yard touchdown run, which accounts for a large amount of their total yards. Big plays is a tough thing to overcome, especially when you give up more than one in a game.
Yeah, it was a tough game. It was a physical game, and big plays were the factor. There's no other doubt no other way to put it. You take those 3 big plays out, and that's probably 250 yards of their offense. They're back down in the 430, 440 range. We outgained them then, and when they had to sustain a drive down the field, they struggled with that. It's when we take the lead, get back, they pop it in 2 or 3 plays, and that's how their offense works. That's what we knew could happen, and it happened. It was frustrating at times and disappointing that the big plays were the factor in the game. But I'm still proud of our guys. I think our guys played really well still. It was 6-3 at the half and just tight all the way through. And they opened it up in the end with some big plays. But still proud of the way our guys played.
Arizona Christian has been a pretty high-powered offensive team and able to score some points, and they've been playing well coming into our game. We were really playing them blow for blow in the first half and going in the third quarter, like you said, which must have been encouraging going into halftime.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you play a team of that power and a team that won the league last year, and we had our chance to put ourselves at the top of the league this week, but we just came up short. We traded blows with them for a long time, and we were physical with them, and it just in the end the big plays got us. And if we talked about it all week, we're going to have to limit the big plays, and we just didn't quite limit everything that we could. We limited a lot of their drives, and made them drive the field a lot, which was tough on them, and got some turnovers and made some stops and did some things. But then we let some big plays happen, and that cost us the game.
Another aspect of the game which hurt both teams was the penalty yardage. We were flagged 10 times for 123 yards. Arizona Christian had 18 penalties for 171, and that doesn't count the penalties that were either offsetting or declined. I guess in a situation like that, no matter who the penalties are on, it just really disrupts the flow of the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was tough for either one of us to get in rhythm. It seemed like any time either one of us make a big play, there'd be a penalty, or just we make a big stop, we'd have a penalty. It was it was the most penalized game I've ever seen, and it's one that for us we doubled our penalty average of the year. I mean, I think we were averaging 3 or 4 penalties a game, and then we get 10. It was tough. We didn't change the way we coached this week. We didn't change anything. How we play. I think the referees inserted themselves in the game, and it was tough. It was when you have 28 penalties combined for over 300 yards or right at 300 yards. That's pretty tough. That's a whole nother offensive game for somebody, and but that's part of the game too. We had to battle through adversity and battle through penalties, and I think our guys battled through them. And just continued to play, even though they kept getting them called. They just continued to play, and I was proud of the way they did that.
Some individual statistics from the ball game. Michael Bowles rushed 20 times for 150 yards. He was the leading ground carrier in the game for both teams. That now gives him 1,065 yards, put him over the 1,000-yard mark. He's now number 3 in the country in rushing, and he has 133.1 yards per game, which is like 15 yards per game average, more than any other rusher in the CSFL. So Michael's definitely, again this year, taking the bulls by the horn, so to speak, and doing a great job. Dwayne Robinson was had 106 yards rushing, so we went over 100-yard mark for 2 running backs for the 4th time this year. And Dwayne also had a touchdown run. And ACU had 3 runners over 100 yards. Of course, helped by those 3 big plays. Demario Fair had 139 yards on 6 carries. Justin Carroll had 101 on just 3 carries. And then Quinta Thomas, he had 13 carries for 111 yards. So each of those had a big long run in their totals on Saturday. Dwayne Robinson was 10 of 21 passing for 122 yards and a touchdown. Michael Wall came in after Robinson went out with an injury and completed 3 of 7 for 29 yards. And the quarterback from ACU, Garrett Grunwald, was 20 of 30 for 283 yards. You knew he was going to be tough stuff this week.
Yeah, I did, and they did a lot of the same things we thought they would do. They threw a lot of screens, threw a lot of intermediate routes. They didn't really stretch the field much, and when they did, our corners were right there, ready to go. Had chances to make some plays. We just missed some tackles on those screens and things that let them break a couple. And I think that's how they made their big play in the passing game was a screen that we just didn't get over there and get tackled and get fit up right. But other than that, when we made them drive the field, they just couldn't do it on us. And that's encouraging as a defense to have a powerful offense like that when you're making them drive or stumbling down there and just not quite getting in the end zone as many times as they normally do. And like I say, you take those 3 big plays away, and it's a totally different ball game. And but that's encouraging. It's encouraging for our young program. It's encouraging for us, and we just got to regroup and get ready for Wayland Baptist.
And we continue to do the things that we've been doing offensively. We've been averaging about 280, 290 yards rushing. We did that. We averaged over 100 yards passing. We had 170. So offensively, we did the things. We moved the football and didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, we've been doing the same things. The evolution of the offense is changing a little bit. Just we still run the football, but there's we've thrown the ball a little bit now, and it's just the whole offense is coming together. It's evolved every single day, every single week that we play, and our guys just continue to work. They continue to grind. They continue to get after it, and I'm very proud of them.
A couple of guys that stepped up in the passing game was Jonathan Hendricks. Had set a record for catches in one game. He had 7 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown, and Riley Carraway had 4 for 81. So those guys really stepped up and are getting more in the flow of our passing game.
Yeah, those anytime you can get Kansas the football, it's good. He's a big tight end that runs really good routes, has really good hands, and it was nice to see him catch the ball that many times and have a chance to do some things. And we've continued to look for him in the passing game. We just connected him quite a few times this week, and it was nice to see.
Let's talk a little bit about the Pioneers that we play this week. Of course, we played them once this season in a non-conference game in the season opener. opener. We lost 37-14 in that contest, but that was the game of the fans will probably remember, and I know you do, Coach, where we had 8 turnovers in the ball game. Something that we've done a better job since then. In that first meeting, Deshaun Johnson had 75 yards rushing. Payson Bain had was 10 of 21 for 80 yards passing for WBU. We put 2 runners over 100 yards rushing in that first game. Dwayne Robinson ran for 106 yards. Michael Bowles ran for 100, and Robinson completed 16 of 25 for 140. You know, that was a ball game. Would you say that the score was an indication of how close the game really was?
Yeah, I think anytime you turn the ball over 8 times, you're not going to win. And that was the first game out of the chute for us with a new offense, and we just put the ball on the ground too many times. And they're playing with a different quarterback now than they played with previous, and their offense has evolved and changed since we played them, and they're playing really well. They got 1 loss on the season, came in the second week of the season, and after that they've been rolling, and Coach Henderson does a good job with them over there, and it's going to be another tough physical ball game. It's not, it's just like any other game we played this year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be back and forth, trading blows, and hopefully we can do the right things to get ourselves on the winning side.
Yeah, that loss of the year, the only one Coach was talking about, was in the second week against Saul Ross when they lost 48-27. Their last 3 games have been conference wins over Bacone, Sagu, and then Texas College on Saturday by a score of 41-14. Wayland Baptist offense is led by Gerald Peterson, who's got 446 yards rushing. Deshaun Johnson has 344 yards and 6 touchdowns. Mitchell Parsley is the leading passer, completing 53% of his passes for over 1,300 yards. And their leading receiver is Preston Woodard with 22 catches for 327 yards. Coach, probably does it help playing a team more than once in a season? I know it doesn't happen very much in football. Does it give the guys, especially since we had a performance that we'd like to do better on as far as the turnovers, does it give us added incentive coming into this game?
I don't know if you want to say added incentive or what you want to say, but we know who they are. Of being against them, they're a good team. They're a good disciplined team. They're going to make you beat them, and and that's kind of what we are. We're a good disciplined team that we're going to do the things that we have to do and hope and make other teams beat us, and that's the key. I think we've got to do what we're supposed to do to have a chance to win, and that's starting with a great week of practice this week, and just staying locked in mentally and staying focused. Going on the road for us now 3 straight weeks is going to be tough. It's tough on any team, but especially a young team like we have is going to be tough, and we've had a good year so far. We've done some good things, and there's still a lot left to accomplish. And we still got to get that first road win, which is a monkey that's got to get off our back. And there's still a lot of things to do. But playing them twice is, I think kind of what they're going to do and their thoughts and what they think and things like that. But still got to show up and play the game. And it's one that our guys are definitely disappointed in our performance the first game of the year. But I think they've gained a lot of confidence since then and done a lot of things right since then too.
And this is the next 2 weeks, and not to jump ahead to next week's game against Langston, but these next two games can make a big change in the conference standings. So we want to go in and continue to play well, I guess, and make some things happen. And of course, you never know what's going to happen down the line. But with 2 conference games remaining in a relatively small conference like we are, we can make a lot of difference in how this conference ends up.
Yeah, and that's what I told our guys when we talked after the game on Sunday when we came in, is that there's still a lot left to accomplish for us. There's still there's still the possibility of a conference championship. A lot of dominoes would have to fall, but there still is that possibility. There's still the possibility of having a winning season if we were to win out. And there's still the possibility of having a winning record in conference play. And for us, those are huge steps in our program. Just like getting the first win was a big step. Getting the first conference win was a big step. Sitting there having a chance to play the conference leader, and if you win, you put yourself in first or second place, and then still have a chance with the guys that you got to play. So our program's making a lot of progress, and that we've just got to continue to do and continue to grind and continue to play the next 3 weeks and see where we end up for the rest of the year. But we got a good chance. I mean, Wayland Baptist is undefeated, and they sit basically right there, tied for first or half a game out, and we got a chance to go in there and take care of ourselves and take care of our business and do the things that we need to do, and that's what we got to do.
Looking at this team and how it's performed and each game as the season has progressed, and even in a lot of the different games, how they've responded to adversity. Have you seen a lot of different maturity levels compared to this time last year in the team, just how far we've come?
I think just the maturity level as a whole has gotten better. I think the will to win has gotten a little bit better once you get a monkey off your back, and we're in competitive games. We've been in the games, and we've finished a couple of those games that were really close, and we just kind of figured out how to win as a team and as a group of guys, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that has a lot to do with progress, is because when you are winning and you are being successful and you're in tight games all the time, and it makes it easier for those guys to buy into the system and see what's really happening and what's going on. And I think if you look at our games this year, I don't think we've necessarily been blown out by anybody. We take Lindsey Wilson, we're right there battling blow for blow with them into the third quarter. Heck, they're ranked 7th in the country. Hendricks comes here. We don't play the best game of the year, but they're ranked in Division III. And, you just go down the line in our conference play. I think we've played really well and been really close in a lot of those games. So our guys have been in a lot of tough games this year, a lot of tight games and a lot of physical ball games. And, that's the key. And that's going to be the progress that we make is – from being in these battles this year, is hopefully that carries over to next year too, and the progress that our program makes going into next season.
And being 2 games from the end of a conference schedule, and being in a position we can still possibly win a co-championship in the conference, means a lot, not only to the guys for this year, but you can also build off of that for the years in the future.
Yeah, you can build off that. Like you say, anywhere we finish is going to be a good finish for us. But the closer you can finish to the top line, the better off it is, and for our guys and for the whole nature of the program and where we stand and what we're doing. And I think our guys are locked in, ready to go. I think they're locked in, ready to go for Arizona Christian. I think that we played well. We just kind of came up on the short end of the stick. But I think they'll be locked in this week, ready to roll, and and then we'll go on from there, from one game at a time, and get through the rest of the season and see what we have left.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach, for joining me.
Thank you.
Lyon College heading to Plainview, Texas on Saturday for a 2:00 game against Wayland Baptist University. That game will be broadcast by Wayland Baptist. You can see the links to those games if you're not making the trip down there on the LionScots.com website. This is John Kruger. Thank you again for joining us for the Kyle Phelps Show.